Okay. Hello, I am Katie, and welcome to this segment of wine tasting. I'm accompanied by Yanko. Yanko, thanks for thanks for joining, actually.
Thanks for having me.
So today we're going to talk about wine tasting. Now, a lot of you guys have probably tasted wine before, but I'm going to make you so that you're a little bit more of a pro when you do it. The viewers that are at home, if you want to grab your favorite bottle and a glass, you're welcome to join us as well. So what many people don't know with tasting wine is that there's actually 4 different stages. The first is the appearance, second is the aroma, third the way it feels in your mouth, and fourth is the finish or that aftertaste. So we'll start with the beginning. Yanko, do you mind being my taster?
No, of course not.
Okay. Take them on for the team.
Can I start drinking
Not
it?
just yet. So we'll start with the first step. The first step is the appearance of it. Now for this, you're going to observe the color and the clarity of the wine. As you're doing it, you're holding the glass up. You want it to be in a pretty well-lit room and preferably against a white background. If you don't have a white background, then what you can always do too is use a white tablecloth or even white t-shirt if you have it. So are you noticing, is the wine clear and brilliant, or is it more cloudy and dull?
It's clear and or cloudy and dull.
Okay.
Cloudy and dull.
And then notice the depth of the color. Is it watery and pale, or is it more deep and dark?
Deep and dark.
All right. And a couple ways that you can look at that too is you want to look straight down into the glass, and you also want to look at the rim. If you notice here, the rim is actually a lot lighter than the actual center of it. Kind of need to point it that way. Yeah, a little hard to tell. So reds are going to range from red, ruby to purple, even a garnet color. And as wines begin to age, they actually will get lighter if they're red. Whites vary from clear to a light green, even golden. And as they darken, they actually darken as they age. So color can be affected by, like I said, the age, also grape variety, and whether or not the wine was spent any time in oak. So the second step is going to be the aroma. Now as you're smelling it, what you want to do is you want to swirl it around. Swirling it around actually exposes it to oxygen, and that will intensify the aroma. And you're doing it correctly. Always hold your wine glass by the stem. If you hold it by the bowl, that's going to change the temperature. And aroma and the taste of it is really affected by the temperature. So what are you smelling, Yanko?
I smell a little bit of raspberry and cherry.
Okay, good. And you want to smell it several different times, because each time you smell, you might smell something different. Are you smelling anything else from the beginning to now?
Yeah, I smell some olives.
Okay. So common aromas might include different fruits, spices, herbs, even flowers. Now different people might smell different things in the same wine. General wine smells are pretty specific to their variety, but everyone always has their own personal touch and smell when it comes to it. Okay.
Are we going to be able to taste the wine, or?
Pretty soon. So a big part of the tasting is that smell. And now that you have the smell, what you're going to do is you're going to sip the wine. But before you do that, I want you to think about what you're doing. So you want to feel the wine actually in your mouth, because your tongue has different taste buds. For instance, on the tip, that's going to taste sweetness. On the inner sides, that tastes sourness. The outer side, saltiness. And the back of the tongue tastes the bitterness. And that's actually where you're going to get a lot of the alcohol taste from, is in that bitterness. So when you do it, just kind of roll it around and taste it with different parts of your tongue. You can do it now. So what are you tasting?
Taste a little bit of bitterness and fruitiness.
Okay, and there's going to be many characteristics that you'll find in the wine. Bitterness generally comes from the grape skin or the grape seeds. And that's also essential to the finish of the wine, which we'll get to in a little bit. The most obvious is in reds, and you can almost taste a hard, dry, or a soft. Can you describe that as a hard, dry, or soft wine?
I think dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the fruitiness is kind of dependent on the variety of growing conditions and the winemaking techniques involved in that. It can also be described as acidic or sweet as well. So while you already swallowed the wine, you almost jumped to the fourth step. I didn't expect you to hold it in your mouth that long. But you want to start thinking about that aftertaste or the finish. So that's right after you swallow. Now, the better the wine, the more defined the finish is. And if you notice that the finish almost lingers in your mouth for a while, that actually defines a better and usually more expensive wine. So if someone's trying to sell you an expensive bottle of wine, see if the taste lingers in your mouth, and that generally will tell you if it is a little bit more expensive or not. What did you notice about the finish?
Yeah, it definitely lingers. I can still taste it.
Oh, good. Only the best for you.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of times the finish, too, it can taste very similar to what you're tasting in your mouth as well as what you're smelling, but it can also come up with a different taste or flavor. Was the aftertaste any different than the actual taste or feel in your mouth?
It was a little bit spicy, actually.
Oh, okay. So now that you've enlisted all of your senses into tasting the wine, you can more honestly ask yourself if you actually enjoyed the wine. I
Definitely.
can tell now that you did. So next time you guys go wine tasting, you can look a little bit more like pros, and you can get the full experience with each sip. And that's pretty much it for now. I hope you guys are at home with your bottles and can finish off a glass for me.
Cheers.